Hi everybody, this is CAD Hunter and we're still in Mexico and this is part 2 of our peso hunt. So roll up your sleeves and get ready for something a little bit different. Welcome back everybody, this is James and you're watching my channel CAD Hunter, and that's right, we are still in Mexico and we are looking at pesos. If you watched my last video, we went through a whole bunch of 5 new pesos from Mexico. It's about the equivalent of a US or Canadian quarter in value and size. Today what we've got are 10 pesos, we've got 10 centavos and 50 centavos, we have 1 peso, 2 peso, and so even some 20 pesos that are not very common, they're commemoratives, to go through. So we don't have as many of each variety, but I figured what we would do is look through what we do have, look for any errors. I'm not aware of any varieties, and there are some, particularly on the 10 pesos and some of the other denominations. If there's anything more rare, any commemoratives, we just wanted to see, while we were in Mexico, what can we find if we were coin roll hunting? And as I mentioned in my last episode, I got all these coins from my good friend Donnie, who owns a bar here in Puerto Aventuras, so on the Mayan Riviera, Puerto Aventuras. If you're in town, you'll want to check out the Nauti Burro. Enough said. But these are all coins that he got from the bar. He just puts them in bags. They don't tend to wrap them in rolls and boxes like we have at home, but he's put them all in bags, and they were all set to go back to the bank and put into the big machine, tallied up, and give him some cash. But I asked him if we could go through some coins to see what coin roll hunting in Mexico would look like, or coin hunting, I suppose. And he was gracious enough to let me do that. So I'm really excited. It was really cool to go through the 5 pesos, and I'm really expecting some really cool stuff here, I hope anyway. So I'm excited about it. We're going to start with the 10 pesos. We'll clear the rest of the stuff aside. I pulled up our Numista guide. We've used this before because I want to highlight this is our chance to find Mexican silver. You can see the composition on the right-hand side. The core, the center, is silver. It is sterling 0.925 silver. So this is our chance to find some real Mexican treasure. Hopefully we'll get one in these bags. And of course, Numista can help us learn all about errors, varieties, mintages, and help us find out what is rare, because I'm not an expert in Mexican coinage. I don't get Mexican coins in my Canadian coin rolls, and you might not be if you're joining me from Canada or the States. But I think this is going to be really interesting, so thanks for joining. Okay, I have dumped out all of the 10 peso coins here. And so what I thought I would do, similar to what we did last time, is go through them, see what years we can find, and then we'll be able to identify basically the best example for each year that I can add to my collection. I don't have a lot of pesos in my collection, and so we want to see what we can find basically from a random assortment of change that people are handing in at a bar and trading for a cerveza, a beer. And we'll look to see from what we do have. So I'll separate it all out by year, see what we got, what we didn't get. If we have any of the varieties, we'll talk about those too. So I'm going to get started by just sorting them out, and then we'll look through what we got. Okay, I've sorted through all of the 10 pesos. I've got them all stacked up here. You can see I've got lots more of the more modern ones, and you can see they're looking pretty grungy. Unfortunately, we didn't get any of the early 10 pesos that included silver. From 92 to 95, we were totally shut out. We didn't get any of those. If I pull it up here on Numista, we can take a little peek here and see what the mintages are. 15 to 47 million, but they were made of silver and we didn't get any. You can see it would have said nuevos pesos. We didn't get any of those this time around. The first year we got was 1997 here, and some 98 and 99. There are really no years that are really low mint or rare. Of everything that we got, we're still missing a few years. We got the commemorative 2000 and 2001. So these were commemorating the change of the millennium. So you can see it says Año 2000, and Año 2000 is in the edge. So it's not reeded, but it's got the year in there. So that's the 2000. We got one of those, and we got one of 2001, Año 2001, and again, it's a little bit worn on this one, but Año 2001 is listed there or imprinted on the edge. So we got 2 of those, but we didn't get a 2002 or 2003. They're not particularly low mint. We also didn't get a 2008, also not particularly low, but our sample size wasn't huge. I think if we'd got a full box, if that's what they could give us here, we'd probably get them. We did get 1 commemorative. It's pretty rough shape. It is, if I can get it to zoom in, a 2012. It's the 150th anniversary of the Battle of Puebla. And so we can see that here. It's got the same eagle design on the one side, but it has a commemorative design on what is probably the obverse. And so that's cool that we got that. It's not low mint. It's about 29 million. And as was the case with the 5 pesos, these bimetallic coins get pretty discolored pretty quickly. So we didn't find any older ones in really great shape color-wise. Even this pile here of 2008 or 2017, 2018, some of them, as you can see, are looking pretty bad. Some aren't so bad, but they don't really look like they're new coins. Really, it's the 2019s. Actually, some of these 2018s look pretty good, but the 2019s, and we got a big stack of 2021s. And just like in the 5 pesos, we didn't get anything from 2020. I'm just not sure if they're not circulating here or not. And we got one that was effectively dateless, where the date would be on the top left here. I can't make out anything at all. It sort of looks like it's been scratched off. I don't know if somebody was trying to take the date off, but effectively we can't see what we found. So what we'll do is I'm going to go through and take the best example of each of these years to add it to my collection. Because as I've said in the last video, I don't really collect or haven't got a big collection of Mexican coinage. So I'm really excited to add something from each of these years. And so I'll come back, and as we did with the 5 pesos, it looks like the design being very similar. The high point on this side of the coin is the breast of the eagle. So we can probably see by the wear on the eagle's breast feathers easily what is more worn and less worn, even when they're really hard to look at because they're sort of tarnished or they've lost their brightness. We should be able to get a good condition on this side. So that's what I'll do. I'll look through everything to pull out the best example of each, and then we'll go through our other denominations and see what we've got. As I'm going through the 1998s, I pulled out a couple here, and this is the first year we can look at where there's actually a variety. There's a near date and a far date, and the near date is the one on the right-hand side where the 8 is actually touching that inner ring. The one on the left, which is really hard to make out, is also a 1998. But the far date is far from that inner rim. And I've pulled it up onto Numista here so you can get a better view of how that date sits against the rim. So we've got at least one of each. Most of the ones I found were the far date, the near date is touching the inner ring. It's the one on the left. Next up, I have the 2007s lined up, and there is a really interesting variant on these ones. And at the bottom of the coin, you'll see is sort of like it almost looks like a little Tetris piece just around the rim. And there is this, what you're seeing here, if you can zoom in on it, is the normal version where that little step, it looks, is sort of oriented to the left. I brought it up on Numista here. You can see the normal is on the left. The variant has that little shape along the rim the opposite way. So there's an unknown number that were done like that. And I've got them here, and we can zoom in and see them up close. All of them are oriented in the same direction. So we've only got the normal variety. Unfortunately, we didn't get the rare different version. So what I'll do is I will just pick out the best of these for my own collection. And I've got the 2018s here. This is another one where there is a variation, and it is again like the 1998 where this one on the left here, the 8 isn't close to that inner rim, but the one on the right you can see is just about touching that inner rim. So sort of a near 8 and a far 8. And so we got one of each of those, and that's great. So I'll add these both to my collection. Just got a few more to go through, and then we're going to go through some other denominations. All right, so I have grabbed the best of each of them, and as you can see, it's only the newer years that are really nice and shiny, but that doesn't matter to me. so much. I don't have very many Mexican coins at all. So I'm going to take these, and if I somehow find others that are better than these, I'll just swap them out, and maybe I'll spend these on a cerveza the next time I'm in Mexico. All right, next up, I've dumped out our bag of 1 peso coins. We don't have a whole lot here. I'm hoping we get a good assortment though. So I'm going to organize these all and bring you back in and let you know what we've got. There are a couple of varieties. There's really nothing low mintage, but there are 2 versions, the 92 to 95 that says new peso on it, or nuevo peso, and then the 96 to present date that is just a slightly different design where they took the new off of the coin. Okay, I've organized all the 1 pesos here, and we got a pretty wide variety of dates. That's right, that's great. We got a healthy stack of 2021s, all bright and shiny, and mostly skewed to the newer years, the last 4 or 5 issues. But we did get at least one of most years. We only got one of the old style that still has the N for new peso on it. That one is a 1993, so that's our earliest. But again, I'll go through all of these and I'll pick out the best, and I'll bring you in when there's a variety we can talk about and see if we got them. Okay, I am very zoomed into a 2008. There is a variety, a large date and a small date. This one here is the large date, and if I scroll over slowly, you can see that this one is just smaller and finer in detail than this one over here. So we got both. I had a whole bunch of small dates and the 1 large date, so I'm happy that I got 2 varieties here. Okay, well, I've sorted out all the 2 peso coins, and similar to our other experiences, we got a lot of 2018s. We got a couple shiny 2021s. We didn't get very many old ones. I only got 1 1994 with the N for new peso. This should be, I should say, in that whole series from 1992 when they converted to the new peso to 1996. I just got the 1. And I got a few of the older dates. And you can see they're all in pretty rough looking shape, or at least very dull anyhow. But I'm just going to, again, sort out the best from each year and add it to my collection, because, again, I don't have a whole lot of these. So you can see there's some shiny 2019s here, some shiny 2021s. There are a few others in the later years, 2017, 2018, that look good to choose from. And I'll just take the best example from each. I've sorted out another group of coins that had 2 denominations, the 50 centavos and then the 10 centavos. And in both cases, there's a large type and a small type. The large type for both denominations was minted from 1992 to 1996 and was replaced by a small type. So you can see the difference here between the earlier 50 centavos and the later small 50 centavos. And then the 10, interestingly, the 10 centavo is very similar in size to the 50 centavo and can easily get confused. It's a little bit bigger. And then the smaller 10 centavo, and just for comparison, it's a little bit smaller yet than the small type 50 centavo. We didn't get all of the years, and there's nothing incredibly low mintage, with the exception of the 2009 small type 50 centavo. They made both sizes that year, and I didn't get either of them here, certainly not the lower mintage smaller type. And we've just got a few more to go here, some odds and ends that I'll show you in just a second. Again, I'll sort these out. I'll take the best example for my collection. And the very last coins that we've got, we found 2 20 peso 2021. It's the bicentenary of the independence of Mexico. And these ones look just fantastic. And so the mintage on these guys is not yet known or stated. I can't find that information. Interestingly, the center part of this coin is nickel silver. And in case you're wondering, no, there's no actual silver in there. Nickel silver is 60% copper, 20% nickel, and 20% zinc, but no actual silver, but it looks very silvery, hence its name, nickel silver. And we found a few other cool things in here as well. A 2009 5 cents from Belize with Queen Elizabeth II. And Belize, of course, borders the Yucatan Peninsula, or the Quintana Roo state in Mexico. And we've got 1 penny from Great Britain from 2001. And our last find was 10 euro cents from 2019. And that's really all we've got. These are some great finds. I really hope you've enjoyed this Mexican peso hunt. When I was down here in Mexico, I wanted to do some coin roll hunting, and that's what I wanted to do. And hopefully you've seen something a little bit different that you don't normally see. Thank you so much. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, CAD Roll Hunter, please do that. Hit the like button. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.